machines, fears in tow. Back to the future, hop in the DeLorean. Night Rider cruising, man, there's no ignoring them. Battlestar Galactica, what a ride. Looney Tunes, antics, pure joy inside. Blockbusters ruled, we lined up for days. Video games booted up in the pixelated maze. Movie marathons and popcorn nights. We ruled the screen, living in the lights. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. Grab your joystick, the game's about to start. A high score world, now that's an art. We're cruising on hoverboards, living our dream. Old school forever, we're igniting the scene. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school.
Today's episode is brought to you by PTZ Optics. Disability upgrade. New Wave Toys and their Replicate Amusements products. GG Retrobox. Get 3 to 5 games from your favorite series, consoles, and game genres delivered to your doorstep every month with GG Retrobox, the ultimate retro gaming subscription box for video game enthusiasts. Use code GRS15 at checkout to get 15% off your first box. And
Boom shakalaka! Hey everybody, it's Tim Kickstrter here, the voice of some of your favorite video games like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And I'm here to talk to you about Old School Gamer Magazine. It's the magazine for retro gaming, and it's exploding. Kaboom! Print issues come out every other month, and if you want to go green, digital options are available. Visit oldschoolgamer.com and subscribe now. That's oldschoolgamer.com. Boom shakalaka! Kaboom!
Well, all right. Let's see if we're all here. Could we do 2 weeks in a row with audio that works, Glenn? I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. So I sound okay to me, but
you sound good to me too.
But do the people in the audience agree that they can hear us?
Drop a 1 in the chat if we sound good. Oh, hey, look at that.
See, AI's taking over. I told you guys.
I must be your good luck charm 2 weeks in a row. I'm good for
It's that, and I'm AI generated through.
There we go.
Now, before we get started, we do have a super chat actually already that came through from Twisted Gaming TV.
Nice.
Glenn, you need to come out with a cocktail table. And, that's one of the plans. So the FU, first of all, Twisted, thank you very much for the super chat. As I said last week, I do want the FU to be a stand-up machine, also like a drive-down cab. And I do plan an FU cocktail table. That'll end up being probably a Kickstarter as well. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the show about the Kickstarter, because it's had ups and downs, Glenn. Go a week, man. I mean, ups and downs, but
like the stock market.
It pretty much is. There's a couple things I want to. Usually, I save some of this stuff for the end of the show, but before I go through the people in the chat, one of the things I always say in all my videos, 10 plus years doing this, is make sure you always tell family and friends that you love them. whether they even like you anymore or not, doesn't matter. It's always good to say that because tomorrow's never promised, right? You could be here 1 second, something could happen, and you could be gone. Now, this week, someone close to me is going through a lot of medical issues, and it's very concerning to me because you don't see anyone to go through pain and suffering. So that's one thing. But literally at 3:30 today, I get a phone call from my brother. Right, so I pick up the phone. Yeah, he totaled his car. He had a beautiful 2024 Subaru, and totaled it. Right, he's okay. He's okay. He seems to be okay.
That's good.
All the airbags had gone off. I mean, the car was a mess. It was not quite a head-on collision, but kind of close. But my brother could have been literally just snuffed out off the map. Now, who says tomorrow he's not going to be in pain and stuff? Today he's kind of feeling okay. But that's why I always tell everyone out there, listen, just tell family, friends, you're thinking of them. If there's anyone that you feel like don't want to hear from you, you should reach out to them anyway and let them know that you care, because literally life could be gone that quick. Faster than Mario hitting a Goomba, you could be gone. So I don't want to start this out on a downer, but just this week it's been a lot of people I know having severe medical conditions, life-threatening possible conditions, definitely life-altering conditions. Yeah. And then my brother, my son's driving too. You always worry about your kids driving. My son is actually very careful. He's a really good, excellent driver. My brother was just driving, a beautiful day today. He's got a car. It's only a year old. Wow. Gone. Car saved his life probably. But enough of that. I just want to start the show with that. Now, let's just go through the chat real quick here and just welcome everyone who does join us every week. Thankfully, come in to stop by on the Kickin' Old School with the two Glens tonight. We start off with the Be Me, Sir Sega, JJ's here, Biggie D. The Kickstarter is still, we got, I didn't even start the damn timer. Jesus Christ. I didn't start the timer. I'm already late. So we have about 48 hours or more or less, roughly, of Kickstarter. I forgot to start the damn timer. So I got the
it literally just changed to 48 hours since we started this podcast.
Yeah, of course it did. It's probably less. But I got the audio working. I forgot to start the clock. But anyway, thanks, Big D. Appreciate that. We still have some time left for people. Of course, our resident AI, Jason, is here. We appreciate you, Jason, all that you do for the community. And we are going to talk a lot about the Vectrex Mini. You can see at the start of my show. And actually, do I still have it over here? I had it over here somewhere so I can find it. Too many buttons, everyone. There is one of my two Vectrex units. I actually have two Vectrex units. That is one of them. And we are definitely going to talk about the Mini because the Vectrex is a phenomenal system. And it was one I was planning on making at some point, but I knew that even though the Vectrex and the games and the BIOS was all released to the community, it was supposed to be, as far as I understood it, for non-commercial use. So apparently somebody may have gotten that license, and congrats to them, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And of course, we have Twisted Gaming here. Well, FU, that's right, FU, man, appreciate you being here tonight. And family unity. FU, Michael B, family unity. Who else we got here tonight? We have Basement Jack, Vectrex Mini. Yes, it kind of came. There's actually two, and we're going to talk about it. It's actually two separate Vectrex Minis out there. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
That I did not
know. You did not know that, did you? We have Steve Sale here. Sean, I always get it wrong. I can't see. It's Sean Longran. Hopefully I'm getting that right. I don't know. I apologize. I fucking suck. What am I going to say? Dr. Torque. Hey, guys. He's always here as well. Brett is here tonight. The Sith Fire 30. What's this here? When is New Waves doing it? I know I reached out to Shiloh. I've reached out to him a couple of times. He might be on vacation right now. In this summertime. I don't know. But I would like to get some updates as well. Because they have the pinball machine, the Black Hole pinball machine. They have, obviously, the Golden Tee and the Crystal Castles machines. And now they're doing a skate ball machine. But I want to see more of these arcade machines. And people have been waiting a long time. I mean, again, I can't throw stones because some of my stuff takes a while to come out. But I do try and keep people updated on them. So hopefully Shiloh will give us an update soon. Paul Barris is here as well. Faith Hog 13, and another great Friday. Thank you. Glenn, I promise, Glenn, I'm going to go to the eye doctor, and then I'm going to be able to read these people's names like nobody's fucking business. Matt Asmus Gaming is here. Obviously, Glenn and Glenn is here, obviously, today. Saved by Zero is here as well. Happy Friday, kids. FU and FU to everyone. Always give a pleasant FU to everyone. JJ, I think I met Astro Gaming. I think I got him before. Upgus is here as well. Happy Friday, everyone. Be thankful that we are all here. All of our friends are here. Jim, the Pacers fan, is here. He's got the big one. He can hear us, which is awesome. Torque is here as well. Audio is good. I don't know. Maybe the end of days are coming, people. Obsidian Contraption is here as well. That's Cole. Oh, shit. Cole's here. Look at that. My son's here. So, Cole, thank you for joining the show. I meant to hit this one here.
Hey, Cole.
Obsidian Contraption is here as well. Sean, I got here. Patrick Murphy is here as well. PB and J here another week. I appreciate that. My brother is okay. But again, you never know. You could be just going to Taco Bell. You're figuring to blow up the toilet, but your car gets blown up. So you got to be careful.
I just want to pause for 2 seconds as Cole is in the audience. This is probably showing backwards on camera. This is his playbill for when he was in play. Cole was awesome. Got to see this about a
Glenn
month
saw
ago.
it.
Yep.
He really did a good job. And as a matter of fact, Glenn, I got the video. I purchased the video if you want to get a copy of that.
That's cool. That's
Cole
cool.
Cole did a good job. And he's been reaching out. A couple of friends reached out to him who had contacts. So I'm hoping that'll work for him and be backing out on Cole's coattails for a change and do that. So, look, Cole's probably already gone. Probably didn't see it, Glenn. He's probably already gone. Have a good show. He's probably pieced out and gone already. I think I may have gotten everyone. I'm going to go through. Steve Sale is here. Thanks for joining. Mike Hawkirts. My Hawkirts, you got to get that checked, my friend. Please, get some penicillin. Get that shit taken care of. Al Rovelli is here as well. I think we are caught up. So,
We are.
first of all, again, everyone, thanks for coming. I'm glad you're safe, family's safe, and all that. And if you do know someone is going through something right now, and I say this as well, people don't know what people are going through. Sometimes people don't even tell people that are going through things. Just always try and be kind. You don't know what people are going through, especially in this day and age, with the job market the way it is, with bread and eggs costing like half your paycheck. Just try to be kind to one another. That's, I guess, the big thing of today. But Glenn, let's talk about this a little bit. Let me pull this up over here. Hopefully, I can find it.
And it's funny because I was just saying the other day, we were at the Long Island Retro Gaming Show, and I got to play a Vectrex. I've only ever played one a handful of times. And we were talking, I was like, yeah, it'd be great. Somebody needs to do this. And you said, yeah, that's something you always wanted to do. And here it is, just a couple of weeks later. It's like, wow, somebody's doing this.
Right. So the Vectrex came out in October of 1982. This is actually on Wikipedia, but it's actually right. It came out in 1982 from a General Consumer Electronics Corporation. And GCE eventually sold it to Milton Bradley. So it became actually eventually Milton Bradley Vectrex. But when it came out, it was actually pretty phenomenal. It is, when you go to the arcades at the time in 82, vector machines, Glenn, right? They were still pretty prominent. You had Tempest, you had your Asteroids, you had Battlezone, then you had color ones like Blasteroids. Not Blasteroids, there's another one, Space Duel. One of those games. But then a lot of color ones starting to come out. I think Tempest was the first actually color one, but then you had like Space Fury, from Sega. So there were a lot of games that came out in vectors. And at the time, when you had raster graphics, vectors could do scaling, zooming. It was all smooth. It was gorgeous, beautiful, sharp video. And the Vectrex had come out. It came out at $199. I remember in the back of the Sears catalog, my father saying, I got you an Atari. Why do you need another video game system? That was a problem he had back then. You had a system, and they were expensive back then, especially for what they made. My father was like, I'm not getting it. But I remember after the crash had happened, I was with my grandmother in New York City, and they were selling Vectrex with everything for like $80. But I had no way to get it home. I was in the city, but I had to take a train, so I missed out. But in any case, the Vectrex was a very powerful machine, had a built-in display, had a great sound chip, could even do speech. It had analog joystick with 4 buttons back in the day, 2 controllers. And it had a lot of firsts. Since it had its own screen built in, you could get a light pen. And they had some games that used a light pen. But more amazingly,
wow.
Yeah, that's right. But more amazingly, they had the first, as far as I know, home console 3D stereo imager and games that used it. And he used what's called a color wheel. So basically, it was a spinning disc in your face with red, green, or blue, and then a black area. And as it rotated, it blocked out parts of the screen, and it gave phenomenal 3D effect. I don't have an original imager; it's incredibly expensive and delicate. But someone made an aftermarket one with a like a welder's mask, but they built a motor into it, and the 3D effect is phenomenal. So the Vectrex had a lot of amazing things. They were going to come. More amazingly, we're going to come out with a keyboard component, a computer on a vector display.
Wow.
So it was already a pretty small machine as it is. The monitor built in was about a 9-inch display that was in there. And it was kind of portable. I mean, it still had to be plugged into AC, but if you had a car that had plugged in, technically you could play it on the road in the car. But you could take at least to your friend's house. And I can't recommend a Vectrex if you've never tried one, to get your hands on one and to play it. And I tell anyone, if you ever come across one in the wild and it works, get it. Get it. It's that type of machine. It's a collector's item. It's a great fun machine. There's a huge retro community making all kinds of new games for the Vectrex. In fact, there's actually been devices that let you play the arcade ROMs of Battlezone, arcade ROMs of Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, wow.
Asteroids on the Vectrex because, well, it can natively display those type of games. So very, very nice system. So I had always wanted to personally make a Vectrex Mini, especially after the craze had come out, right? So I was like, it's public domain, but I couldn't find out who to talk to see about getting the actual license, but apparently someone did. But before we get to that, I did say there were 2 Vectrex Minis coming out. So when Glenn talks in a few minutes, I'll try and find it on Facebook. A gentleman made free to download 3D printer files and use I think it was a 7-inch screen and a Raspberry Pi. And you 3D print the Vectrex. Now the controller is a little bit bigger; it's out of proportion. But right after that was posted,
Vectrex Build-A-Cade,
kind of. But within like 24 hours of that one being done, this comes out where someone actually made it looks like an injected molded. I can't quite tell, but it looks like an injected molded Vectrex with wireless controllers. So the controllers are actually going to be wireless on this particular one. I'm not sure, is it? It's up here. Here it is. So this is the Mini right here. And we'll play the video here real quick. So the controller itself is wireless, but it's directly proportional to the machine. So
when I went to the Facebook,
because
you can't tell how big that is until I went to the Facebook and they show it sitting side by side to a real one. I was like, okay, it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
It is. So here you can see right here, this is the full size one, and there are the minis. So that is cool. So this is going to be launched actually on Kickstarter. So I'm not sure if Jason has this link. I'm going to put it
September, right? I think it's coming soon.
Within the next month. So I'm going to put it down here. If you guys want to look at it, that's the link.
You said how big was the original Vectrex screen? Was 9 inches?
I think it was 9 inches, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 9-inch screen.
So judging by that Mini, I'm going to say it's probably a 5 or 6 inch screen.
I would say so, and it is obviously not going to be a CRT. Okay, so obviously when people
they said it's an AMOLED screen,
right? So people can be like, well, it's not a real vector screen. It is not. However, if you get a very high dot per inch screen, technically, you really wouldn't know it's not a vector screen if you have really good resolution on it. I don't know what screen they're using on this yet. None of that details has been released, but it's a pretty small screen, and I think even a Raspberry Pi 2 could handle Vectrex games. Now, something that Glenn you brought up. You want to bring up your one issue you think you have with the machine?
Well, I know my question was to them, and I put it on their Facebook. I was like, well, what are you doing about the overlays? And their response was, they said there's going to be overlays included for the built-in games. So I'm guessing, because I can't imagine it would be snap-on overlays for something that's small. I'm guessing that because this is going to be emulation anyway, there's an SD card built into it, that they'll probably do bezels that will just appear over the games that are pre-built in. I don't know how that'll work for games that you add via SD card, but I mean, it could be a case where, people will find a way to add the bezels, or maybe there'll be some way, right in the root files on how to easily add bezels. I'm not sure how they're going to handle that yet.
Well,
We'll know
that's a
more, I
good
guess, when
point. So the
Kickstarter comes out.
Vectrex was a black and white screen, but
Right.
obviously you're looking at this image, it's in color. So the Vectrex, what they did was they would make overlays back to the original Magnavox Odyssey days. So you would put these little plexiglass screens over the monitor to simulate color and some backgrounds. If this is Armor Attack. So if you put the overlay on that, you would see some backgrounds, some buildings, but that also can be done through the emulator itself. So RetroPie, MAME, all those emulators, you can put overlays on. So most likely, that is what this will do. I know the 3D printing version or 3D printed version of it, you do use the overlays in the emulator. Now, it would be kind of cool if they gave you little overlays just to have, like little plastic overlays just to have, but they're going to be a real pain in the ass to put on. So I'm totally fine with it being an on-screen version of the overlay.
Yeah, I mean, especially not for nothing, since it is, since it is actually emulated, I'm fine with that too. How many games roughly were there that used overlays?
Oh, all the Vectrex games came with an overlay. Now, even all third-party ones, I mean, you have to print your own. Or hopefully, someone made one for you.
I didn't know every game used an overlay.
Yeah, they all had overlays. All of them had overlays.
How big was the library of games for that system?
Let's take a look. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure Wikipedia will be pretty good here. Let's see if we can find out. If anyone in the chat knows, I want to say it was probably like around 40.
Oh wow,
40 cards, something around there.
Many. Wow.
But now with the the homebrew scene, there's a lot
there's
more
stuff going
as far as that goes. But the Mini won't have a cartridge port. To me, that doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense to have an emulator device with a cartridge port. It will. They did say have an SD card slot. So if you
if you look at something like the what Atari's done, has a cartridge port and it's emulated.
It is, and I'm not a fan of how it does it. It's just downloading the cartridge. And they don't have an SD card slot. So they're making you have to have the cartridge to play the game. I'd rather have an SD card slot, to be quite honest. Because
I was saying it would have been cool if they had both, but I'm fine with it just being.
Well, if you think of this thing being a Mini, it couldn't accept the cartridge anyway. The cartridge would have been too large. I'm totally fine with an SD card slot on it. Now, it'd be kind of cool if they make some small dummy cartridges, maybe NFCs. So you plug it in and it plays it that way. But actual cartridge, I'm actually fine with that. The big cool thing is that these controllers are going to be wireless. I almost wish they weren't, because I would run to maybe try and use them on a regular Vectrex, because one of the big faults with these early machines and analog joysticks like the 5200 is the little springs, and this particular one break. The joystick still works, but the springs break. So a lot of people would go to their Atari 2600 cartridges and break them open, and they would take the springs for that little cartridge, the dust cover for the 2600 cartridges. Those springs would be used to replace the springs in these Vectrex controllers. However, Glenn, you'd have to rip the, you see my mouse here, you'd have to rip the decal off the top of the screws on the top here.
Oh, wow.
But now they do make aftermarket, decals. But put a 1 in the chat. We have, so many people got in the chat tonight here. We have about 60 people in the chat. So put a 1 in the chat if you are interested in a Vectrex Mini, like you would have been with NES Classic Mini or the TurboGrafx Mini, or a 0 if it's not your thing. So let's see what people think here. Do you guys want to get one? I'm seeing some 1s from Jason, Toro, Twisted Gaming. So I think they'll all be 1s. I have to say, we got a 0. Oh, no. Look at that. No, Pacer, no. For me,
I usually don't get too excited about these minis, but this is one I would.
Well, Messiah's going for. James hates. He's going for 2. He wants 2 of these. Personally, like I said, this is one of those machines that not a lot of people have played, but everyone should own. Yeah. To me, this is the Dreamcast of its day. No one plays a Vectrex walking away from it going, and it wasn't that great. I understand it's black and white. That's what the overlays are for. But this machine here, if the great North American, I want to stipulate that, the great North American video game crash had not happened, the Vectrex, I think, really would have gotten big. because general consumer electronics was people like me who love the community, they love the machine, and they were coming out with all these different peripherals. They were going to come out with a color version of the Vectrex. Version 2 of the Vectrex
Oh, wow.
was designed, and it's actually in the National Video Game Museum in Texas. It's down there. It is a color display. It was a prototype, but they were going to come out with a color version of the Vectrex, and that would have been amazing. And Glenn, I'm going to tell you something else. I bet you didn't know. The Vectrex is capable of raster graphics. They came out with a version of Space Invaders, and Space Invaders is raster graphics. So you'd have vector games, and it was capable of raster graphics. If you look up the Space Invaders, I think it was just another Space Invader, Yazzie or something like that. But it's a great arcade perfect version of Space Invaders using raster graphics. So that is a really cool thing. So for me, when this thing launches on Kickstarter, I don't know what it goes for, so I can't say to buy it because it depends on the price. But I think anything around $150 for a miniature Vectrex with a nice display, a wireless controller.
$150 would be a perfect price point.
I think so. I'd be hopeful it had a battery in it for some maybe 1 or 2 hour gameplay of not being plugged in. But to me, I probably will buy more than one. I'd probably buy 2 of that just because I am a huge fan of the Vectrex. And again, it looks like it says coming soon. You can go here and sign up for a newsletter, get more information on it. But I take my hat off to Vectrex.com. Apparently, they got the license to it. And they basically say, listen, we're huge fans of this console. We want this console to live on. We're going to do what's right by it. And that's Twisted Gaming agrees. $150, I think, would be good, especially on Kickstarter. Like Kickstarter, maybe you get a better deal than $150. I think $150 for regular retail price would be good. Hopefully on Kickstarter or early bird specials, we get a little better deal. I actually reached out to them, just so you guys know. I reached out to them saying, listen, if I can help in any way to make sure this comes out, you need tooling, you need parts, you need this, I am willing to help this project along. So I am a huge fan of this. I'm a huge fan of anyone who's going to do this. So hopefully.
Here's a question for you. For Vectrex then, so were there any licensed titles, or were all the titles that came out for Vectrex original titles?
They came out, the games were licensed. They came out with Scramble. Now, Scramble was a raster game.
Okay.
But they came out with Scramble, and it was actually a very good port of Scramble. They came out with Berserk on the Vectrex. I think there's been, like I said, homebrews like Venture,
I'm
Asteroids.
curious about how many were original titles versus licensed.
Like totally, pole position was even done on the Vectrex.
Yeah, the reason why I bring that up is they say there's going to be built-in games. My guess, and again, speculation because there's no information out there, I would assume that any of the built-in games are only going to be original Vectrex games and not third-party licensed games.
Oh, I would think.
You'll be able to bring the SD card and bring in whatever you want.
Well, the Vectrex always had included one game, and it was called Minesweeper? Not a Minesweeper. Shoot. I'm getting old.
The tank game that you and I played when we were at Long Island Retro, that was a built-in game, wasn't it?
No, it was not built in.
Or not built-in, rather, but a game that Vectrex made themselves, wasn't it?
Yes. Mindstorm. Thanks, Torque. Mindstorm. So Mindstorm, it was an Asteroids kind of clone, but it was done very, very well. However, there was a bug in the game. When you got to a certain level, it would crash. So you could have written to Milton Bradley or General Consumer Electronics or Bandai, because Bandai did this in Japan. They had it in Japan. You could write to them. They would send you the Mindstorm 2 cartridge, which is basically Mindstorm, but it was repaired. And it's extremely rare, extremely sought after, because most people didn't care. They played that game, and they never got to the high level for it to crash. So they never got that. But all the other games that came out, I think, Glenn, like we were asking is, I think all the officially licensed games that were sold with the machine will most likely be either on the SD card, but even if not, they're all over the internet. I mean, they're not hard, and they are completely free to use. So the developers, General Consumer Electronics, says, hey, if you want the games, they're yours. They're the communities. We want you guys to have them. Now, there have been homebrews. Some homebrews are free to download and use. Others are pay. Now, usually the one you pay, they send you a cartridge. Hopefully, they will offer maybe another way to get the games on, a ROM download on how to do that. But you can buy the ROM so you can at least play it on this. And I don't know if I mentioned it, both of them would have HDMI out as well. So you can play this on a full-size television with the screen bezel. Of course, it'll be in a vertical position, so your TV would have to be up that way, or you get the black bars. But
Well,
I got to
that's the
say,
advantage of having the wireless controller there.
right.
Especially, yeah.
Let me get this thing off the screen to block at some of the people here. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I want to do that. Wrong button once again. Here it is here. Good evening, Glenn. Mindstorm, including the Vectrex, are still on mine. Again, most of these consoles from the 80s, all they are still work. Now, the Vectrex, like anything else, does need TLC. It's got its own CRT monitor, obviously, so that's its own ball of wax. Be very careful. I don't even recommend you guys work on that. There, people will fix it for you, but capacitors do need to be replaced in this bad boy. You do not want these capacitors eating up these boards. You just want to keep the machine working as it was obviously intended. We want to switch gears here. Now, before we talk about other things, Glenn, there's a couple things you wanted to talk about. So why don't we get into some things you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, so I was just gonna put some shameless plugs out there and show my own stuff.
Sure.
So I think I mentioned, or we've mentioned in the past, that one of my things I do, I have a video production company. I work on a lot of documentary featurettes and things like that. So one of the fun projects I got to work on was we did a documentary locations feature about all the locations for the Deadly Spawn. Which is a cult classic horror movie. A lot of fun. Great creature effects in it. You could see what the creature looks like, this alien creature. But that was a really fun one. We did we went back to the Hildebrandt, the famous artist, house that well, now it's owned by somebody else, but at the time in the movie we shot, it was owned by the Hildebrandts. We went back with the kid actor, now grown up, and the director and the effects artist, and we went through the house and actually talked about the entire making of the movie. So there's that documentary. But one of the other fun projects that we did was also a documentary featurette for the original 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's going to come out in a 3-disc box set from Arrow Video. So I'll drop the links in the chat.
Yeah, what was this one? You sent me this link too. What was this for?
Yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see it's right on the main page.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. Yep. So that's coming out. It's a little more pricey, but if you're a huge Ninja Turtles fan, those are going to be all 3 of the first movies in 4K coming out from Arrow Video. And I did a documentary that's on the first disc for the first movie.
And I want people to understand that Mr. Glenn Baisley over here worked on these things. So he's in the industry. He does this stuff. So we got the Deadly Spawn, which actually I've never seen, but I'm going to have to watch that, to be honest.
Very fun movie, yeah.
And
that actually played the documentary played at the at a Montreal the Fantasia Film Festival a couple years back. It's that we actually did the documentary for that 3 years ago, and the disc is just coming out. So sometimes it's like you work on these things, they take a long time before they actually come out. But yes, I'll drop the those links in for anybody who wants to check them out. Arrow Video, you can pre-order the Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then of course Deadly Spawn's available now. But I'll drop those in the chat if anybody's interested in them. If you're a horror fan, you haven't seen the Deadly Spawn, that is definitely worth a watch. It is a trip, and it's chock loaded with extras. Both discs are, especially if you're a Ninja Turtles fan. That disc is like crazy loaded with extras.
Well, that's really cool. And again, it's fun knowing Glenn because he has all these great stories. He's telling me all these stories, which I'm not going to go through here, but the guy's got stories. The guy's got stories. He's got backstage information, shall we say.
I've seen too many crazy things over the years.
Well, the industry, I guess, calls in for eye opener at some point. We'll call us to go on the casting couch. And you know that happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what are we at here? We're at 8:35. So, of course, we got to talk a little bit about.
We should talk about FU because we're getting down to the wire now.
We are. So we have about still 43 hours, so about 2 days left. So if you want to get in on it, I mean, we're doing very, very well. 48 hours to go. We're at $489,620. Today, it actually went up to $491. But what I was saying earlier is this thing's been a yo-yo all week. It's been like the stock market. It goes up, but it's been going down. It goes up. Glenn says, it's up here. I wake up, it's gone down. I tell Glenn, it's up. He sees it, it's gone down. But this is the last 43 hours, 21 minutes, 26 seconds to get your opportunity to get an FU. And again, you can back it at the lowest. Again, I know it's not cheap. $9.99 is not cheap, but it is extremely inexpensive for what you get. And if we look what's still available, I'm still in shock. We still have 25 units of the super early bird $9.99, which you get a full-size Build-A-Cade FU and a 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade that you can make with the Donkey Kong artwork or whatever you want to do on there. But you get that 19-inch rotating screen. You're going to get the coin door. Michael B was like last night, oh, we put a coin door on there because an arcade machine has a coin door. This is an arcade machine. It's not a toy. This is an arcade machine. And I do appreciate Michael B did a stream last night with 19K Fox. I think some people jumped on board because of his stream. So we have still 25 of those. And we have, it looks like, 44 of the 26-inch at $1,200. And I know a lot of people are going, but Glenn, look, it's those prices plus shipping. Well, it is plus shipping because it's like shipping anything. It's like shipping a couch. I know some people say, well, shipping's included. No, shipping's included, but you're still paying for it. You just don't realize you're paying for it. It's already in the price. So whether they use a marketing ploy saying shipping's included, I'll say mine's included when you add it into the price of the machine. There you go. So we're there. And it looks like we have another super chat from Twisted Gaming. Quality comes with a price, but not love, my friend. Love from GRS is always free. Love you. Thank you very much, Twisted Gaming. So we still have, like I said, 25 of $9.99. And if you do get your foot in the door, Glenn, let's say you jump on that $9.99 unit. Later on down the road, you go, man, I want to get a couple of decks and I want to get a 26-inch. You will be able to. Once the Kickstarter closes, even down the road, you can go to the Thunderstick Studios website, and we will have the 26-inch screen, the 19-inch screen, this deck, that deck, coin door. Parts of this machine will be available for purchase on the Thunderstick Studio website. So even if you don't want to have the wife murder you for spending $1,200, you can still get in. And again, the 19-inch, people are like, oh, it's small. It's not a small. 19-inch is not a small screen. And when you see that screen just magically turn on your game, you're gonna impress your friends. You impress your dates. You'll impress your kids and their kids. You'll be impressed. And then you can always add that 26-inch later. In fact, I know some people bought the 26 going, Glenn, I might want to buy the 19-inch screen as well because I think I like that rotation. So the options will be there if that's what you guys want to do.
Yeah. Well, one of the things too is I've seen comments too about, well, what about this panel? What about that panel? I mean, there's only so many panels you could have. I mean, that's the thing is you'll be able to make your own panels. In fact, I was even saying to Glenn earlier, I said, geez, they said, a buddy of mine said, it'd be great to have that trackball, the big trackball, have a single joystick on it and have two of the regular spinners on it rather than the push ball ones because they're larger. Well, I said, geez, I said, I got to look around. I said, because I think I have some extra GRS spinners. If not, there's a sale that's on the site right now. I could just go in. I could put them into that panel myself and add another joystick.
Right, exactly.
So, and not have to create a whole separate control panel. Now I have a classic panel that's a single player joystick, just the two spinners and the larger trackball because you have that real estate on the panel to add that.
Right, and we
you can even customize panels that you could buy.
Oh, absolutely.
Through the Kickstarter.
Absolutely. I have two chats here. One is from Upstating Contraption. The shipping killed it for him. And Basement Jack 2 through 50 shipping. Unfortunately, yes. Again, this is not, it's not a toy. If you were to go to any auction, and Twisted Gaming's in the chat, if you were to purchase a full-size, like my Zaxxon behind me, to have it shipped, you're probably talking $400 to $600 for the shipping.
Easily.
This is an arcade machine. It's not a 1/6 scale or 1/4 scale or 1/4 scale. This is a full-size machine between 200 plus pounds. And if you get more items like additional control decks or the Glintendo hood, those are more packages. We got the pricing as best we could on shipping, but unfortunately, it is what it is. When you want to buy something like heavy duty furniture versus particle board furniture, shipping on real furniture is going to cost you more than the particle board. So you have to always think about those type of things when you're looking at the FU. Again, what I'm offering here with this Kickstarter, the value is unheard of. It is unheard of. You will not find any arcade machine with what I'm offering at the price. Again, not including the shipping, because the shipping is not coming from me. The shipping comes from the shipping company. When you get the arcade machine, what I'm offering at $9.99, no one can touch that at all. People's mindset is the arcade one-up like XL series at like $8.99. There is no comparison between a paper mache house and a brick house. It's a brick house. That's what I'm getting at here. So unfortunately, shipping is what it is. If I could get it down lower, obviously I would do that. We've beat everything down, but once you get this in your hands, you will realize this is not a lightweight particle board machine. This machine is going to weigh like a refrigerator. That's why we have caster wheels on the back, because you'll be able to tilt it and move it. You're not going to be lifting this out without it. This is for people who want that machine. When you go, like, the friends will come over and you're hitting the machine, and the machine can take that pounding. Because hey, when you say she can take a pounding, it's usually a good thing, right, Glenn? Right. So that's what it is. Unfortunately, shipping is what it is. What it is. That's what I'm saying. So I'm in that class. I'm not in a particle board arcade one-up class. My device is the real arcade class. Right. And the unfortunate pricing of the shipping is going to equal that because of the weight and the size of it. It's going to come in a couple of boxes, but the box is still going to be pretty big. So unfortunately, that is what it is. I've been straightforward, totally honest with everything. But even with the shipping cost in there, when you get the machine and see the quality of what it is, all the features it has built in, and all the features you can still do to it after the fact, between arcade operating system, the different screen types, all the different control decks, the coin door, the Viper Venom. Don't forget the Viper Venom, the arcade operating system, the light up marquee with the ability to put in the Al Link marquee. It's plug and play. This has all been thought out, designed, and put in there. That is what I'm offering. I'm offering something that is not a toy. It's a fun thing to play, and as far as that goes, it's a toy. But this thing is really like an industrial piece of art for your house. Was that showing good, Glenn? Did I show that good?
I think so. Yeah, you sold me. I have mine pre-ordered, so I'm sold.
So okay, so the Basement Jack saying I'm comparing it more like to the Rec Room Masters, and their machine is pretty comparable to mine. He's saying it's like $900 delivered, so that's it. So exactly. And again, when you read text, I've had this problem for years. Reading friends' texts, you don't always understand what's behind the text. Like texting kind of really sucks, right? You get a text message and you can look at it. Well, my Basement Jack, that's a valid point, and I thank you for that.
I mean, in shipping, I bought the all-in-one bundle that has all the control panels, the Glintendo hood, and I think the shipping was like $500 on that. But when you consider the fact it's 5 control panels plus the hood plus the and I remember what was it? Even at games, like when you ordered ALP, their shipping was $300 or $400 or something. I mean, so the shipping is not. It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
So we have me in trouble. Twisted Gaming. GRS FU free shipping. Use code Twisted. If I could, I would. I really wish I could get it down more. I wish I could ship to Canada. I wish I could ship to England. I wish I could ship to Australia, Germany. I've always these people asking for it, and right now I can't. So I think I might end up doing it at some point, doing Kickstarters for territories. Like if I can get like 50 units for Australia, 50 units for England, 50 units for Canada, that pretty much would fill like a shipping crate for us. And then we could potentially do that. So I think what will happen is, I think once this Kickstarter is done, I know Michael B mentioned and 90K Fox mentioned this yesterday. Like I'm saying, this is all that's going to be. Maybe, maybe not. All I'm saying is right now, this is the plan to do this Kickstarter. So
Yeah.
we may do, I don't think it'll ever be, you order one, we'll ship you one. If anything, it'll be, we may do, okay, when we get an
It'll
order,
be in waves, right?
it might be, or if you get 50 orders.
Like you do with the KVM. It's like, okay, we'll do another run with X number of them.
Right.
But that's the thing is, if you're thinking about you want one that FOMO, or if you don't want to wait, I mean, at some point there'll be another run, but how quickly,
That's the thing. So when with the Kickstarter, we put our plan out. So the Kickstarter is going to close in 43 hours, 11 minutes, and 20 seconds, and then we will. We're going to double check again. We're going to check one more time tariffs at this time, right? We've got to make sure the tariffs didn't go nuts, because I promised if the tariffs went up, we would maybe refund you money, so no one loses any money. But if it goes down at all, we would refund the difference for everyone other than the $9.99 and $1,200, because they already got that squashed and paid through us. I want to make sure we do that, and then we'll start ordering the wood, because we don't. The one thing we don't make, the one thing we do not make is the wood. We have a fantastic, probably the best wood maker in the territory that we're working in, doing the wood. So the wood is going to be a quality that's going to be fantastic, and it's going to have the nice, black, coating on the outsides of the top quality wood. That's one thing we don't make. And obviously the arcade operating system, we license that from Arcade, but everything else comes from us. The wires, the controllers. I take that back. The Unico screen we don't make. We're going to get the Unico screen if people want the 26, and the BOE screen from them. But outside of that, let me take that back again. The locks. No, we actually do make the locks, so we're okay with that. But those are things we still have to work with and get and start putting it together. We'll have hopefully one finally shipped here to the States, so I can have some influencers and people come out. Even if people want to come see it, we put it out there. If I can get it to a show, if it gets here in time for the what's the next show coming up, Glenn? The one in Hartford.
the Hartford Gaming Show. This is September, I think, right?
Yeah, what is it called though? It's the Gaming Expo, right?
Yes.
Gaming Expo. If I can get it up there, even if I got to put it out in the street, be able to walk by and try it out, I will do that. But if
Retro World Expo.
Retro World, thank you. So here, this is the point that I think they were making last night with on Michael B. the Game Genius show, is that even if I do make other runs, like Glenn was saying before, it might be a year. So people will be like, oh, I should have got on next. I got to wait. The reviews came through. I really predict the reviews are going to be phenomenal on it. And then people are going to want to get it. Now they got to wait. And then that's when people start getting impatient. I want it now. So that's what I'm saying. If you get it now, I know you're going to be happy with it, because it's something, if you've bought any one of the other products I've ever done, any one of the products, not one of them has gotten a bad review. Not one. Now, I say that with maybe a wink in the eye, because there's been bad reviews from people either ordered the wrong thing, like I thought this was this. Well, how's that my fault? Why is that a negative review on me? Because you didn't know what you were buying. Or they bought someone else's, because there's a couple of clones, right? A company called eStats cloned our stuff, and then they think it's my stuff. And I said, if you look at the back of the board and say eStats, yeah, well, it's not mine. You bought a clone. I'm sorry, that's not one we make. Anyone who's purchased any one of my spinners, trackballs, light guns, anything. Look at the KVM. The IRK Ultimate Control Panel and that KVM switch was a huge undertaking. We didn't have to do. And everyone loves it. Now, some people find it a little complicated to put in. Michael B. might take a year and a half to put his in. But once it is in, it takes your system to a whole different level. And this machine, and I've said this before, Glenn, I've said this is not my last product, but it is my end game product. I was building up all these different things to come to this point where I'm going to release my dream cabinet. And it's not my final dream cabinet. It is my dream cabinet that I wanted to come out with first. I am planning a FU sit-down cabinet, because that's something I wanted to do. And as Twisted Gaming got out of me, and I've said it before too, I love cocktail tables. I want a nice cocktail table. And then I have other things in the plan. So since this Kickstarter has done very well, and it has done very well, I think, again, my team will back my ideas more, because I do have, just like anyone else, I pitched so many things that I know are going to do well. Some of them, we have prototypes, I have right over here. I can't show you everything, but I know Glenn has seen at least one of the prototypes I've done. I have prototypes of stuff over here that have never come to light because my team still is not fully like, I don't know. I'm like, look at the Ikari stick. I had to fight tooth and nails for that, and the Star Wars flight yoke. Both phenomenal products that I really had to fight, and then they finally said, "Oh, okay, it's doing pretty well. We like it."
Well, it's interesting too, in knowing you to see part of the journey for the FU to where it started from and where it is now. Because I remember when you originally started to talk about the FU with me, and I don't know if you've ever said this on air before, is that one of the original ideas you thought about was doing the cabinet on injection molded plastic and not wood.
Yeah. Before I say, I'm going to give you an answer, but Dragon Gamer, yes, exactly. Sit-down cabinet for racers, shooting games like Afterburner, absolutely. I have other controllers for like flight sim, stuff like that. So the answer is yes. Now, to answer Glenn's question, and I may or may not, Brooklyn Menace, I'm happy you're joining. He's a good friend of mine. Thank you for joining, Brooklyn. Go to his channel and subscribe. So my original thought, if you look at my basement, I'm missing half a wall, right? I'm missing half a wall because I had a flood back in 2021. And, I ended up ripping all the stuff. So my idea was like, if you look at my GRS Sinden Target Pro, which is behind me right there, right? So we have a very good wood coating. I mean, it's still wood, but we have a really nice wood coating on the outside. So I'm like, why couldn't we make a plastic cabinet that looked like wood? It would be lighter. So I actually thought about putting a spot in the bottom to put a cinder block. Because I was a plastic
sandbag, you were saying.
Right, too, exactly, for the weight. But if it's in a basement or a garage or someplace that got wet, it was plastic. It wouldn't matter. And it would be heavy from the cinder block or sandbags to keep from moving around. I thought this was a great idea. My team, they just wouldn't do it. Because injected molding, believe it or not, injected molding is much more expensive than wood. I think it is for the initial mold. But as you start making more, the plastic, I think, would be a better idea. So I understood one point of it, but I still think a plastic FU that looked like wood, had a nice veneer on it, and you could put weights in there. It would be cheaper for shipping, for sure. I would have saved on shipping. And it would be weatherproof. Hell, you want to put it outside? We just had to, IP68 to screen, a couple of things. You can put the damn thing outside. It's plastic. So maybe FU3, we could get a plastic version.
Sit it next to your pool.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the thing. So when you're buying from me, you're backing someone who's there for the community. You're backing someone who has a track record of making good quality or great quality stuff. Who am I kidding? And I back it up. I back it up. Support when people I'm not going to say we're perfect. We've had a couple of issues. Sometimes users screwed it up, and sometimes stuff got out bad or got damaged in shipping. Nothing's ever perfect. We've always taken care of everybody. We do. So that's kind of what you're buying in with this, and you're supporting, like I said, like Joe Sable's Arcade or Escape Pod or these other people. Even I talk about the Buy Stuff store a lot. They're busy as anything, but I guarantee they will make stuff for the FU. It is such a moddable design, and we will release all the dimensions, all the specs, so people could do things like that on their machine. And James, what did James put here? There you go. One of those big ones. Use AI. AI will take the whole thing, will design it, and they'll print it out for you, James.
I like Sir Sega's comment about the plastic FU Cuppercade.
We could do that. When you open it up, when you pull the screen out, it makes that farty sound when you pull it out. But hey, we could have made the bottom a fridge. It could have been the Build-A-Fridge.
Right. That's right. Build a fridge.
Build a fridge. But that's the thing. We are small enough where crazy ideas can come to life. But we, unfortunately, also need the backing of the community, like in this case. We need the Kickstarter. We need the help of you guys to make this actually come to fruition. And again, I am more than in shock over how quickly we did hit our number. We're still at 49, which is a fantastic number. If we hit 500,000, I'd be ecstatic. Just $500,000 on a project like this would be amazing. So we had 256 backers before, and I thought that was great because 256, is a bit. You have 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and then 256. So I thought, 256 would be fucking great. But we lost one. We're back to 255, which is still good. It's a color register.
Glenn, can I tell them what we were discussing beforehand?
You can tell them anything you want. Just don't mention anything in underwear.
You were saying if we hit 500,000 tonight, that next Friday's show, you're going to come on and you're going to do a Magic Mike pole dance.
I will do a Magic Mike pole dance. I will. I got to practice, though. I got to get the pole back out. But if anyone knows me, I can fucking pole dance like no one else out there. I am fucking great.
Just give you some drinks.
That's right. You give me a couple margaritas, I will friggin' spin around in that pole. You guys will be. Glenn makes a nice pole dancer for sure.
We had a question in the chat about what's the best email or a way to contact you.
I'm sorry. Say it again. I scratched my ear.
Question in the chat: what's the best email or contact information for you to give out if somebody wants to reach you?
Oh, I always have it's glensretroshow@gmail.com, or you can reach me at the Thunderstick. If you go on the Thunderstick Studios website, which I pulled it over here. Did I have it over here? I did not.
And we should say too, right now there's a summer sale going on. Was it summer 20?
There is. Look, you shield like better than I do, Glenn. So let me pull this up over here. Oop, what'd I do?
And now is a perfect time. You could stock up on parts. If you're thinking about building your own panel,
yes,
you could save 20% off of parts.
Every single
item.
way
to build your own panels for the FU later on if you don't want to pick up a panel. First party one.
Every single item is on sale for 20% off, except it's hidden by the clock. The Ikari, that is 40% off. So every single thing, use Summer 20, the Star Wars flight yoke, spinners, trackballs, joysticks, Tron, everything.
You're like crazy
20% off.
Giving it all away.
Insane! It's true. I used to love Crazy Eddie commercials. Every time they come on, they were always freaking great.
Had the giant mallet.
If I can get him, he's still alive. If I can get him to do one commercial for me, that'd be freaking awesome. But the Ikari stick is 40% off. So the prices are phenomenal right now during our Kickstarter. It's really not. It's really for the summer, but I'll say for the Kickstarter. But we take pride in our stuff. Always have, always will. I have other ideas still in the brain I want to get out at some point. But for right now, I want the FU to make its debut. I want people to have it. I want people to show it off and love it. And of course, if people have said, Glenn, this should have been different. We're totally cool with with ideas, enhancements. We always listen to the community because that's what we're here for. We're here for the community.
That is for sure.
That's true, Dr. Torque. True. Absolutely true.
Hey, can you talk about, we have 3 minutes left. I don't know if you can or want to talk about any follow-up that you and I were talking about off air about the Sinden test you were doing.
Oh, I posted a video on that, so sure. I did post a video, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. So a lot of people are talking about, the FU, and the screen is tilted about 45. It's actually less than 45 degrees, but let's say 45 degrees. And people are worried about, if the Sinden is going to work. So I started doing just some tests, some of the tests I want to do for a long time. So if anyone knows Sinden, the Sinden Light gun, when you connect it and play a game, it'll put a white border around the screen. And it uses that white border so that the technology in the camera and the software says, okay, anything inside that white is my TV set. So I can, play the game. And one of the cool things about that is that I use an HDMI splitter and I put it on a TV set of like 20-inch. I put it on a 52-inch LCD and 80-inch projector. And I was able to play the same game. It was House of the Dead. I was able to go to screen 1, boom, 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 screen 2, screen 3 in real time. All 3 screens didn't matter because it only looks for the screen. There's no infrared. There's nothing on there. So I said, I wonder do I have to actually have screen real estate taken up by the light? So I did a video using just white tape. Just white tape, and I put white tape around the screen on the outside. So the whole screen was available, white border, and sure enough, as I thought, as long as there was good lighting in the room, the camera detected that tape as a screen border, and it worked. So I said, well, what if I put LEDs on the outside of the screen in the same fashion? And it worked. So for people saying that, Sinden is not a good light gun technology, it's like 4 or 5 years old, whatever it is, there's better stuff out there, I disagree. I think that the Sinden light gun technology is still phenomenal. And my video shows you can do other things outside of the screen to have it still work. And but I'll do real quick. If you guys haven't seen the video, let me grab it real quick here.
And might that mean that you're exploring other possibilities with this observation, if you will?
I would definitely will say, and I totally think about that. Yes. It's always testing. But let's see. I got the video. Put this in the chat real quick. Oh, videos. I love how YouTube just throws things all over the place. There it is. Let me copy this right here. So if you guys want to see this video, put it in the chat. And it just shows you that the Sinden light gun can work other different ways. Now,
I just can't believe that nobody's ever tried this out, or at least if they have, I've not seen anybody post about
well,
this.
you've seen the video below you, Glenn, my little Build-A-Cades. Yeah. I actually plugged a Sinden into my little Build-A-Cade. That little screen in there got the little white border, and the Sinden gun works. I don't know if that'll work with IR, but it definitely work with the Sinden. But I talked to Sinden about this, and they said they kind of knew that could be done, but what they wanted a plug-and-play solution that didn't require anything. Didn't require LEDs. Didn't require an infrared thing. Just plug and go. So from that, I take my hat off to him. I get that. But for the people who didn't want to lose any screen real estate, I would at least let people know, hey, if you do put some type of white border, it does work. And in that video I posted down there, you'll see that it does work. So that's one of the things I like doing, Glenn. I just like hacking and trying things out. And I want to get kind of back to that a little bit going forward. So I didn't realize we're already at the top of the hour. Is there anything you want to say, Glenn?
No. I think I've done enough helpful shilling for one evening.
Well, we still have. I want to thank Glenn for coming on again. Glenn is a good friend. He comes on and shoots the shit, lets me babble on for hours, and he tries to squeeze in a little word. But we still have about 42 hours left on the Kickstarter, so you still have some time. Tell your friends. Again, I would still go for that $9.99. Get your order in for that, and you can always build it out later. But as fun as that is, and is all the hard work I'm putting into this, remember nothing takes precedence over someone who's alive, someone who might be hurting, someone who might feel alone. Just reach out to them. I always say tell them you love them, but maybe that's coming off a little bit too, I don't know, whatever. Just tell them, hey, I miss you, or what's going on, how you doing? Just talk to them, because that's what ultimately really matters. When you're sitting home alone, some people get depressed, because it's connections we have with our friends. Our friends make us happy, not this stuff. This stuff is fun playing with our friends. And that's the whole point of all my things. I want you to play this with your friends, play it with your family, spend time with those people. But to everyone else, listen, if like my brother got into a car accident today, thank God he's okay. The car is a 2024 car, totally totaled. He's here and still alive. I know someone going through a severe issue right now. I'm very concerned and worried for that person. That's really most important in life. So remember that. And I'm going to leave you with that. So nothing more for me to say, Glenn. Just make sure you do that tonight. Spend a minute. I love all of you out there. I appreciate all of you out there. You've always had my back, all of you, and I'll never forget that. So until next week, which, damn, Fridays come pretty quick, Glenn.
I know.
They do.
Summer's shot by. It's like, I can't believe next weekend it's Labor Day weekend already.
Oh, crap, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Got my daughter's Jack and Jill party because she gets married next May. So it's like, it's crazy.
Well, we'll leave it on that note. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. And in between those times, tell people you love them. I appreciate you. Game on.
Lumino and cartridges, hidden reset. 8-bit dreams, can't lose that bet. Floppy disks and arcade lights. Pac-Man, Frogger, we're playing all night. Simpsons in the background, neon in the air. 80s vibes, man, we didn't care. VHS tapes, staying up too late. Saturday cartoons, can't wait to escape. Dial-ups humming, we're hacking the code. Back when everything was in upload mode. Atari, Commodore, pixels on screen. Living in the future was more than a dream. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll and roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. MTV playing our favorite jams, moonwalking with MJ, Neon Slam. Ghostbusters, here we're ready to go. Chasing slasher scenes, fears in tow. Back to the future, hop in the DeLorean. Night Rider cruising, man, there's no ignoring them. Battlestar Galactica, what a ride. Looney Tunes, antics, pure joy inside. Blockbusters ruled, we lined up for days. Video games booted up in the pixelated maze. Movie marathons and popcorn nights, we ruled the screen, living in the lights. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. Grab your joystick, the game's about to start. A high-score world, now that's an art. We're cruising on hoverboards, living our dream. Old school forever, we're igniting the scene. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school.